Everybody out there, and it is another Facebook Live from Karen. So I've got a heap of amazing questions today, so I hope a lot of you are going to join me. So I've got to be answering questions from Maria about her 2.5-year-old little boy. I'm going to be answering questions from Sierra with her 3-year-old little girl. I'm going to be answering questions from Peter Crawford with her 8-month-old and sleep training. And then I've got a question from Bree as well that I'm going to come to. And by all means, send me any questions in. And I hope you've all had a fabulous week out there this week. Alrighty, so let's get this show on the road. So the ways that you can watch this Facebook Live: like and follow Nurture Parenting on Facebook. So you just got to click on like and follow. Tell your friends about this, because I think it's a really valuable thing to have, to be able to ask any questions live each week. And it's growing. And I think more people need to know about this. Go to the Nurture Parenting Facebook page at the time of the broadcast. Hello, Julie, out in San Francisco. I hope it's nice and sunny over there today. It's very overcast in Sydney today. Can I just give a weather report? And it's a bit dull. So, no blue sky in Sydney today. I know. How sad. And it was raining earlier as well. Anyway, that's the weather report. So, you can ask the questions in 4 ways. Okay. There's always a replay of this broadcast that's going to be on the Facebook page, and they make their way over to YouTube as well. So, Julie puts them over there. Hello, Stephen Ray. So, questions you asked me. Oh, by the way, Stephen Ray, thank you for putting up my backdrop and everything again. Good work. Ask the questions in 4 different ways. You can ask the questions during the live show, in the comments section, or prior to the broadcast. So when Julie posts up that I'm doing Facebook Live and on this day, this time, you can just post your questions. So I know there's a few come up. Comment on this post or email karen@nurtureparenting.com.au, of which I've got a question here from Peter. Or send a direct Facebook message to Nurture Parenting. So many ways that you can ask these questions that you need the answers to. Isn't it great? You can ask a question and you get an answer like that. So the things I'm going to be up to soon, which are very exciting as well. I'm going to Canberra to the expo again, the Baby and Toddler Expo, which I went there 2 years ago. And I'm going to be live on stage answering Q&A just like this. I hope I've got a chair. I don't think it'll be quite as nice as this chair, but I'd like a chair or a stool or something. Don't really like standing on stage, really. But I'm going to be answering questions, doing a little talk. On the Saturday, I'm doing one about baby sleep, and then on the Sunday, I'm doing one about toddler sleep. So if you've got any friends, relos that live over in Canberra, that have got babies and children, the tickets are only $10. I've also done a piece for the Canberra, the newspaper over there. I don't know whether it's the Canberra Review or the Canberra News or something. But I got interviewed for that. So there's a few little interesting snippets there about Karen that you might not even know about me. So I've been up to all sorts to get this thing for Canberra all ready. So it's literally, I think it's just over a week away. So I'm going there the 25th and 26th of August. So if you come to Canberra, if you see me, come and say hi, come over to the stand. I'd love to see you all. And then tomorrow I'm doing a live Facebook Live Q&A with Babyology again, all about toddlers. So Karen's doing lots of live Q&A. It seems to be my thing. Do like it. And I'm going to be doing a competition today as well. So I had a little think before I came on live. There's been lots of babies and toddlers with colds this year. There's been a 50% increase in the rate of flu in babies and children. So if you haven't got your kids vaccinated, go and see your GP. I think it wouldn't be a bad idea at all. Because I've seen some shocking colds and chest infections and stuff in little babies. Please don't say like the page. Okay. Right, it's okay. Sorry, I'm just getting a message coming through and I'm just like frowning and going, okay. Sorry, Julia, maybe I wasn't supposed to say something then. Don't know. Anyway, sorry. So, we need to look at our babies with protection against colds and stuff, and a lot of babies are getting eczema as well this time of year. Just be careful with eucalyptus and Vicks, because Vicks actually causes mucus it increases the mucus by 65%. So Vicks, you shouldn't be using it under 2 years of age. Same with eucalyptus as well. So that's just a really important. Oh, Beck, Miles is sick at the moment. I know, some really horrible germs going around at the moment. So feel sorry for you all. Right, Julie's saying a competition is fine. Just say she's going to put a link up to enter. Right, that's okay. Sorry, Julie. Don't request likes. Okay, that's okay. Right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to be giving away some bebe skincare. Okay. So I gave away my last skincare this weekend to Julie's sister Michelle for Rhiannon. So this is the nappy cream, but I'm going to be giving away a skincare and a bath emollient. This is for sensitive skin, for eczema. Because I've seen so many babies this time of year getting eczema. The air has got no moisture in. It's very dry. And the bebe is amazing. I've tried it on my own skin. So I'm going to be giving away a bath emollient and a skin emollient as well for babies with eczema and sensitive skin. It's got calendula in, it's got blackcurrant in, it's got lots of lovely organic vegetarian loveliness in there, all natural plant-based, no petroleum. Also made of Dead Sea minerals as well. This is a range, is bebe, that's really huge over in Spain, in Hungary, in Europe. And they're just amazing. So that is what you're going to win. It's actually a bigger version of this, but you're going to get the skincare and you're going to get the bath emollients. All you have to do is just like this post and just say why you'd like to win it. Okay, and we will draw them next week and we'll announce the lucky winner. So I think that's a fabulous prize to get some bebe. If any of you want to try the bebe, because you're not sure about whether it's okay for your baby's skin, I do have samples and I can send them off to you. Okay, so I understand how, you know, you're unsure about, is it going to be okay for my baby's skin? Okay, and I totally understand, because I sample everything myself before I use it, because I've got very sensitive skin as well. I've got eczema and asthma, hay fever, and a really dodgy immune system. So you know, I do have samples. I can send them out to you if you wanted to try them. So you just need to let me know and we can send them. But these are in our online store. Bebe is amazing. And that's what you're going to be winning. One each, bath emollient and the atopic skincare. Yay! All right, so let's get into these questions. So hello to everybody out there and thank you for joining me today. So I have a question from Maria. Now I've got to pronounce her last name correctly. Right, Dagiantis. Dagiantis, I think it is. Anyway, I'm not very good with names. I apologise, Maria, if I haven't pronounced that correctly. And her little boy is 2.5 years old. So 2.5 years old. So Maria says, I've tried sifting through your material and blogs online, but haven't been able to find anything specific to my inquiry. So well done on sifting through, Maria. There are about 410 blogs, so that's a lot of sifting through to do. But do you have any ebooks or material you can refer me to? My 2.5-year-old has been waking lately every 4 hours, twice a night about 12 AM and 4 AM, and walks into my room. I carry him back to his bed, sit down next to him for a minute, and he's unhappy for me to walk out. Any guidance or links will be greatly appreciated. Now, as most of you know, now as Maria, are you out there today, Maria? Give me the thumbs up or the love heart if you are. Otherwise, this will be recorded for you later. So there will be a toddler book coming out straight after this sleep book. So the sleep book is at the editor still. I've not got an ETA yet, but I'm going to be contacting Taryn today to see where we're up to with that. But there will be a toddler book coming out on sleep. And the reason that I've not put all this stuff out into a blog, Maria, is because it takes me 3/4 an hour to an hour to do a proper consult. And the danger is that if I give you just a few little pointers in a blog, okay, that you're possibly going to not do everything that needs doing. Okay, I'm sure you can understand. Because how irritating would it be if I just said, you need to do blah, blah. And then I miss out 10 other things that you need to do as well. Okay, so They will eventually be gone into a book. This book will be, you know, the same sort of size book as what the baby sleep book will be, but all my secrets will be coming into there. Okay. So I would be wondering, okay, so he's waking every 4 hours, twice a night between 12 and 4, and he's 2.5 years old. So I know most parents, most mums go, but why are they waking? Why? And I know it can drive you completely mad, but sometimes things just happen. But the things I'll be looking at are, is he waking screaming? Is it a night terror? Okay, so night terrors, they usually wake up screaming. Nightmares, a little bit different. I'd also be looking at, does he snore at night time? Is he a mouth breather or does he snore? Okay, because then I'll be looking at things like tonsils, adenoids. I'll be looking at ENT stuff, ears, glue ear, because all this sinus, yeah, which is why I mentioned about the eucalyptus and the Vicks, because those things actually don't help those airways. Okay, got to be really careful with these things. Like I said, eucalyptus, Vicks, it increases mucus production, so it can actually cause a sleep problem because you're blocking up those airways with mucus. So what you think you're actually doing to help is actually not helping at all. Okay, and I think Vicks actually said on the label not to use after the age of 2, but I'd still be cautious with it. So we're wondering about sleep apnea, and there is a blog on there about medical causes of sleep disruption. Okay, now what we need to do is look at it from a behavioural point of view until we know otherwise. However, once you've been doing this for 2 weeks, Maria, and things are not improving with using a behavioural technique, then we need to look at a referral to an ENT doctor, a paediatrician, or a sleep doctor. So there's lots of ENT doctors around. I've got names of various doctors in the Sydney area, so if any of you need to know a name of a doctor that a lot of my clients see, that are known to be excellent doctors, do let me know, and I can pass you in the direction of a good doctor that's an expert in these areas. Also, I'll be looking at sleep issues. So sleep issues are really, there's some really weird stuff. I had one recently. I went to do an overnight stay, and this little boy is 18 months old. He'd moved house and he'd been banging his head on the actual cot. We had to pad it out with towels and cable ties and gaffer tape because he was so distressed. But he actually had restless legs as well. So he had what we call a sleep movement disorder. And his little sister did the same. And it was a really weird thing. It was like he was on all fours, and his legs, his knees were going backwards and forwards. And that's how he had to resettle himself. And this had been a way that he resettled himself right from being little. But his sister did the same thing. And it looks like it's probably something that's genetic, that's within the family. But it is a sleep disorder. So anything that's a bit unusual, a bit weird and wonderful, so to speak. And these sleep disorders, they're not as unusual as what you think. I had a little girl who also was doing some restless legs things. She'd wake up in the night and her legs would just be uncontrollable. Okay, so we need to look at actually what is happening rather than just jump straight into solution mode. Okay, because it's so easy to do that. Okay, babies are different. Toddlers, they have very different issues. Things like tonsils and adenoids, they start growing and getting larger after 1 year of age. So baby sleep problems and toddlers, 2 completely separate things most of the time. Okay, I've seen so many different sleep issues with toddlers, and that's why I've decided to write them as separate books, because I think they're completely individual. I don't think they cross over all that much. Okay, so that's the first thing I'll be looking at. I'll be looking at snoring, I'll be looking at waking up crying, shouting, or just waking up. Okay, I'll be looking at the monitor and just seeing exactly what's happening there. If you ever get any of these weird and wonderful movement disorders, try and video it, okay, through the monitor, because then you've got some evidence to show to the doctor, because trying to explain this stuff that's happening sometimes can be really difficult to try and explain. But when, as I always say, a picture or a video, it replaces 1,000 words. So when I saw what was happening with this little boy, it was like, oh my goodness. And I was transfixed because it's unusual, okay? But for the mum, it wasn't unusual because she saw it all the time in both her children. And I was like, this is what they're both doing. So then I looked at the family history. You know, have the parents had some movement disorder or some sleep disturbance? Because often these things, you can trace them back. Things like, you know, sleepwalking. I've come across that in families. So knowing the history of the family as well, really, really important. Also knowing, you know, if the family's had any adenoid issues, tonsils, sleep apnea, glue ear, allergies, all these things can cause sleep disturbance, all right? So that's looking at the actual cause, Maria, before we jump into how we're going to help it, all right? So if we've just got normal night waking and there's no particular rhyme and reason behind it, then I'm looking at behavioural, okay? So what I want you to do is, when he wakes twice a night, and the fact he's walking into your room, you have to do something about it. If he's still in his bed, I'll be waiting my 3-minute magic rule and waiting to see what happens. So when he wakes at 12, I want you to shoo him back to his bed. I don't want you to pick him up. It's really important that you don't pick him up, all right? At 2.5 years old, he can walk, all right? So he can walk back. And I don't want you to lift him into his bed either. I want you to tell him to get back into his bed, all right? Because anything you do at night time, Maria, will create a sleep problem. So if his name's Matthew, for example, say, Matthew, get back into your bed now. Choo, choo, choo. Come on. Chop, 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 chop. And there's no niceties. There's no, please get back into bed. There's like, come on, chop, chop, into bed now. And don't let them into your bed. Really important. Because once they're in your bed, they've taken control. Okay? Then I'll be saying to him, get yourself into bed. So tell him to get into bed. And then I want to say to him, ask him to pull the doona back on themselves. Quite often they wake up because they're cold. So I want you to look at what you're dressing in him in as well, Maria. Okay? So if he has got a doona on, maybe that doona's falling off. So then I'll be looking at sleepwear. As you know, I'm a big fan of Hello Night Kids, and they're on my website. They're made of merino wool. But I'll be looking at putting more clothes on him at bedtime. I find most parents are very conservative with their bedwear at night time because we're frightened of overheating. I'd rather have a cool room, no heating at all, and just layer the clothes. You know, make sure merino wool, fabulous for keeping the heat in, but also lets heat exchange. Don't use anything acrylic. So I'll be looking at layers, particularly on the core, the top half. So I'll be thinking, is he cold, Maria? That's been my first thing I'll be thinking of. And he should have really warm sleepwear, bed socks, etc. And like I said, the doona, often it doesn't work at this age. They can't problem solve to keep themselves warm until they get to about the age of 3. Okay. Now at 4 o'clock, between 3 and 4 o'clock, that's when body temperature drops and air temperature drops. Okay. So I would be looking at his body temp. And again, it doesn't matter about the heat in the room. You can crank your heating up all you like. It doesn't work. It's about the sleepwear. I went to see a family last night with a 14-month-old and actually said to them, you don't need your aircon on. They were out west. I was out in Prospect. And I'm going to save them a mozza on their heating bill. This bedroom was like 15-16 and it said 15-16. Right, he's a bit of a sweater. So what is he wearing, Maria? Okay, that's what I want to know. A lot of sleepwear's got acrylic in. So if it's a fleecy fabric, if it's the Grow Company, their stuff is made of acrylic, all right? So I'll be looking at what fibres is he actually wearing, because he shouldn't be sweaty. Right, but if he is sweaty, is there a sleep apnea there? All right, that's be the first thing I'll be looking at. In the blog that Julie's just posted up, the link to it, when kids are sweaty, when they're restless, it is often tonsils, adenoid, sleep apnea. All right, so I'll be looking at taking him to an ENT and the sleep doctor. The sleep doctor I tend to recommend is in Randwick. He's called Dr. Arthur Teng. He's got rooms at 66 High Street, and he also works in the sleep clinic at the Children's Hospital at Randwick. Okay. But if I've got a sweaty child and he's got natural fibres on him, i.e. cotton and merino wool, then I'll be thinking there's something organic behind all this, Maria. That'll be my first thought. Okay, love? Because the fact he's going back to sleep really quickly with you, but I also, you know, even lifting him up and carrying him and putting him into bed, that could imprint a night waking. All right? So try this for 2 weeks, see what happens, get your referral from your GP, and I'll get something in the pipeline starting to happen, all right, just in case by 2 weeks we haven't improved this at all. If you wanted to talk this through with me through a phone consult or a Skype, absolutely fine as well, Maria. But they're the things I'll be looking at, because the fact he's restless. Kids shouldn't be restless at night time, and that tells me there's something maybe else going on here, okay? So I hope that's helped you, okay? Okay, then I've got Lizzie. I'm going to be answering her question later. Right, I'm on to Sierra next and her 3-year-old little girl. So Sierra said, hello Sierra. I stumbled across your site while I was searching for information for my 3-year-old who has always been a terrible sleeper and is steadily declining in percentiles. I feel like an idiot for not addressing this until now, but better late than never. Absolutely. Anyway, I'm curious if at age 3.5 you think nutrition can cause sleep problems, or have I ruined her already? No, you haven't, Sierra. Also, do you think her little baby teeth could spread out? My older daughter's teeth have large gaps between the baby teeth, but my younger daughter has somewhat crowded baby teeth. And that gives me a little bit of a clue already. I'm sure there are some nutritional deficiencies. She couldn't care less about food. It usually takes her over an hour to finish her dinner. We eat pretty well, lots of fruit, fresh vegetables and fruit, cooked vegetables, whole grains. They've taken her off wheat due to constipation, legumes and some meat and yogurt. I guess I'm just curious if I've ruined her somehow. It takes her over 2 hours to fall asleep at night with no nap during the day. She's cranky because she's sleep deprived but cannot fall asleep because her brain is wired. I'm thinking it's from a caloric deficiency. I finally started giving her melatonin because she would be up until midnight otherwise. Any insight you would have is appreciated. Thanks for reading this far. Now, I know Sierra lives over in Nevada in America, so I said to her, maybe a home consult is a little bit out of the question at the moment, Sierra. I said to her, maybe do a Skype or consult with me, but you can't completely ruin things, Sierra, okay? And isn't it sad that this mum thinks that she's ruined her child? You can't ruin them. Everything is able to be helped, okay? You have to sort the sleep out to sort out the eating, okay, and behaviour. It's not the other way around. So many parents think you've got to sort out the food to sort out sleep. It's actually the other way around. You've got to sort out sleep to sort out the actual food intake. I've been looking at things like iron intake. Iron is really important for sleep, okay? So iron deficiency is a massive issue in this age group. So I'd be looking at an iron supplement if the diet isn't sufficient. And there is a blog about iron and what foods you should be looking at for iron intake. Now, the fact her teeth are crowded, I'd be thinking, has she got a high palate? Is there some sleep apnea here? Is there some, tonsils, adenoids, ENT stuff going on? I think it's worth investigating that via an ENT, paediatric surgeon. Now, I presume that she's been to see a sleep doctor, but if not, I'll be looking at a sleep doctor as well and looking at a sleep study, okay? But giving melatonin, I know that a lot of doctors will give this, but again, I'll be looking at sleep training, I'll be looking at diet and tryptophan, I'll be looking at low GI carbs. Now, notice that she's got constipation as well. Has she got some food intolerance? Has she got some food allergy here as well? Okay. And it's taken an hour to finish your dinner, so that's a long time to be eating, okay? Now, I heard of something really interesting this week to help with eating that I think should be passed on. So I belong to the Inner West Mums Facebook page, and somebody on there posted about using those taco boats. And then you put all the grated vegetables like carrot and zucchini and things like lettuce and kidney beans and minced meat that you mixed with the Mexican spices and so on, and yogurt and grated cheese, etc., into little dishes, and get the kids to make their own boats, okay? Wow, Julie's telling me here that melatonin's available from the shelf with no prescription here in the States. Oh my God. That's not good. Because then we're moving into solution mode as parents ourselves, okay? In me, so we'll just press decline. That person can ring me back later. I don't know who the phone number is. No caller ID. Who knows? Anyway, right, Sierra, so that's what I'd be looking at. I'd be looking, at everything holistically, because if we don't look at diet here, we don't look at allergies here, because why is she constipated, okay? Cow's milk protein, we know, can cause constipation in this age group. So when you've got a cow's milk protein allergy or intolerance, that can often show itself as constipation, okay? So it's not always the wheat that you're looking at here, okay? So I don't think it's the wheat, and she does have yogurt, all right? So I'll be thinking, is there something here with ENT, cow's milk? Did she have reflux as a child? There'd be lots of things here I'd be wondering about. And yeah, she's cranky because she's sleep deprived. It takes her 2 hours to fall asleep at night. So is she watching TV? Is there an iPad involved? Is there a smartphone involved? Even watching TV in the day that's ambient TV that she's not necessarily sat in front of, That can cause sleep disturbance. I had a child waking up 6 times at night time just because the TV was on in the day, in his, range. He wasn't actually sat in front of it. So I'll be looking at those sort of things because the blue light interferes with melatonin. Okay. So I've left Sierra to come back to me about all this, but I can definitely help her. But they're things that I'd be thinking of when I'm looking at all that. I'll be looking at iron. I'll be looking at allergies. I'll be looking at, is there some sort of high pollen? I know, totally. Constipation. Yep. I know. It is Beck, isn't it? Beck's just telling me. And that's the first thing I thought when I looked through all this. There is something behind all this because she's got crowded teeth, high palate, I'm sure. So there is, there's a medical thing behind this. And I wonder if she has sought medical help. And she's over in Nevada. So hopefully, Sierra, hopefully you're listening to me. I'm going to send you an email that I put this out on my Facebook Live, and hopefully you'll watch this recording and take your child to a doctor. Really, really, really important, because this is not going to get better just by itself. But there is something underlying all this. I really, really feel that. Okay, so I hope that's helped some of you out there. And thank you, Beck. Yeah, I know. It has Miles all over it, doesn't it? I know. A little boy called Miles. Beck's little boy called Miles went to help, and he has lots of these issues. Melatonin wasn't even prescribed for Miles, and he was pretty extreme. I know. Looks like over in the States that it's just given out like Smarties over the counter. And then we're not looking at things holistically. We're not helping these people. We're just giving a Elastoplast quick fix, and it doesn't look like it's working anyway. Sad. Really sad. Okay, right, on to the next one. And I have Peter Crawford here. She sent me an email, did Peter. So she says, "Hi Karen, help and give me the courage to do this." I'm going to give you the courage to do this, Peter. No worries. So my 8-month-old Evie, who's previously been a good sleeper, has in the past 3 weeks started waking 3 to 4 times a night. Quel horror. I'll admit I've been feeding her back to sleep, which I know I need to stop in the middle of the night. It's just so hard to justify not doing the quick fix. I know it is, Peter. When it's so easy, but then, no pain, no gain, love. Okay, but I understand. So I want to attempt parental presence, and I want to check a few things. 1, her room is pitch black at night. I can't see her. She can't see me. Should there be a little light which I turn off as I leave? If not, how will she know if I'm there or not if I've been completely silent? Great question, Peter, and I get asked this all the time. She knows that you're there. Do not put a light on. Lights interfere with the retina and will cause retinal damage. Okay, fact. And also lights interfere with melatonin, which is going to cause night waking. Okay, so the room needs to be, "Hi, Peter." So, Peter, you need to have a completely dark room. It's about presence. You know how when you're walking down the street and you know somebody's behind you, okay? And in a room you feel somebody's presence, okay? That is all you need, all right, is presence. Because once they see you, you're causing a heap of problems, all right? So just trust that I've been doing this for such a long time, Peter. 17 years of doing this. And I don't have lights in bedrooms, love, all right? So completely black, all right? Your eyes will adjust, okay, I promise. I had to look for my stool last night, though. I had to put the light on my iPhone and look for the stool I was sitting on, because otherwise I'd probably have missed it because it was so black in there. But the child knows that you are there, okay? And you don't need to make a noise or cough or, you shouldn't say anything. You are just present. It's about presence, okay? 2, at 8 months, do I put a hand in the cot, or am I not to touch her or talk to her at all? And do I pick her up for a quick cuddle if she's really stressed? So, great question on night 1. If you're going straight from co-sleeping or holding to sleep to putting her in the cot, yes, I do cuddles for those kids. However, they are short cuddles. They are 30 seconds, no longer. And I wouldn't do too many because you don't want to annoy her too much, all right? It is about giving her a message. And I might only do 1 or 2 cuddles, all right? So if I'm hearing, and the first 20 minutes are intense. The first 20 minutes when you put them in the cot, they absolutely go for it. But I want that to happen. You've got to go for it and come back down again, Peter. That's the key to this. But you're supporting her. Now, the first 20 minutes, I might do many cuddles if I've got a very stressed child. So if the baby at 8-month-olds, if they're retching, I know it sounds awful, but it is just a sign of stress, okay? It is not toxic stress, all right? It is not frying her brain with cortisol. It is just, you've naffed her off. You basically said no to her, all right? So it is not toxic, I absolutely promise you. No harm is going to come to her. But the first 20 minutes, she's going to be cross. And if you're hearing constant crying, no pauses at all, not even a 5-second pause, yes, do cuddles, but they're 30 seconds, all right? But the important thing is that you allow her to go there emotionally, all right? And you don't stop it, okay? That is the key to this. We don't want to stop the emotion. The emotion has to come out, all right? When you let a child have emotion and tell you how pissed off they are at you for not doing what they want, that is what needs to happen, all right? You need to let them vent, let them get it out, okay? You don't, because if we keep on picking her out and holding her and too long, or going shh, we're actually shutting her up, all right? I don't want to shut her up. Shutting up is in my eyes, it's not respectful. We need to let her vent, let her come out with it, okay? Now, do I put a hand in the cot? It depends on the child, all right? I've had hands where they've caused problems. So if you find it becomes about the hand and the child is not going to sleep because of your hand, then yes, take your hand away. But if that hand is providing comfort, then week 1, put your hand in the cot, but your hand is passive. Your hand is not stroking your child or patting them or anything. I don't do patting. Hashtag no pat, hashtag hands off baby, hashtag no pat movement. All right, we did this a little while ago on the Facebook Live, about the hashtag no pat. Karen does not do patting, full stop. So no hands on babies. The reason I put my hand on the mattress and not on the baby is because I want the baby to come to me, all right? Now, what you find on night 1 is they're very ambivalent with you, Peter. She'll love you, but she won't, all right? And because it's this feeling of, I love you, but you're not doing what I want you to do. I'm so cross at you. I'm so cross, all right? That's what is happening inside her brain. Imagine yourself, if somebody that's been giving you feeds at night time or comfort or whatever for the last 8 months suddenly says no to you, right? It's like me going across to my coffee shop and them going, sorry, Karen, 3 o'clock, coffee machine's off, or my barista's off today, sorry, there's no coffee here. That's the level of pissed off that your child is going to feel, all right? I'd be pissed off by that sort of thing, but I have a short fuse for that sort of thing sometimes. But that's why we don't want to put our hand on her, because, you know, she's annoyed. So are you trying to make yourself feel better by putting your hand on them, all right? And they don't want your hand on them because they're annoyed at you. So you mustn't put your hand on them, all right? Particularly at 8 months of age, because they're going through this separation anxiety. And when you put your hand on them, when you touch them, it says, there's a bar of chocolate, but you can't eat it. I'm going to touch you, but I'm not going to take you out. How annoying is that? So at least if your hand is just on the mattress and it's passive and your hand is asleep like you are asleep, okay, that in my eyes is respectful, okay? You are there, but you are not interacting, okay? So you're not talking to her at all, no words, okay? So I don't pat mattresses, I don't pat children, I don't stroke them, I don't say anything to them, I let them work through their emotions themselves. But the cuddles, on night 1, I do cuddles. As the week goes on, night 2, 3, 4, and so on, I stop the cuddles, all right? Cuddles are not helpful. Cuddles will work against you. You've got to think as well, Peter, as well, with cuddles, who are you doing cuddles for? Is it to make you feel better? If that's the case, don't do them, right? If it's actually helping your child in the first bit of the night, yes, that's fine, okay? But if you take your child out for a cuddle and they get severely angry and they go, rah, you don't want to do that too often, because it's not really helpful to your child and it's not respectful, okay? But if you find that cuddle helps your child, that's fine, that's a different matter. But they're short cuddles, they are just 30 seconds only. All right. Now, and then when you put it back down, you do lie her down then. So I hope that's helped you, Peter, okay? Right, question number 3 from Peter. These are seriously good questions, are these, Peter? When she wakes at night and is whinging, do I go in and start parental presence straight away, or wait 3 minutes, or do I wait till she's really crying hard? Another good question. I wait for loud crying, all right? I don't go in for whinging. So whinging, no, not a chance would I go in for whinging. If there are really long pauses, like 10, 20-second pauses in the whinging, in the crying, again, I'd reset the clock, all right, for that 3-minute rule. So I want 3 minutes of, sorry, how many fingers has Karen got? 3 minutes of really loud crying, okay, before I go in. And when I go in, I don't say anything, I don't do anything, I just sit in the chair, play dead. It's like Groundhog Day. So 3-minute rule, 3-minute magic rule, go in, sit in the chair, play dead. Say nothing, do nothing. The poor mum last night I went to see out in Prospect, her little girl, her 14-month-old, who I knew was incredibly determined when I was there last night. I had really, really good idea about this. She cried for 2.5 hours in the middle of the night, and she fell asleep sitting up. So if you get one of those, what do? You don't lie them down, all right? So that is a sign of a very determined child. What I might do is on night 1 is I might sit on the floor, or I might lie on the floor to bring them down. By night 2 or 3, try and get back on the chair. All right, it's important that you're on the chair. You're not laid on the floor or sat on the floor. But she actually fell asleep sitting up. So luckily the mum had me around, and so she knew how to manage that and when to move herself down and when to sit on the chair. And because I use certain time limits, I don't get down the floor straight away. I want to see what is happening. All right. So I might get on the floor after half an hour or an hour, but I don't get on the floor straight away because I want to see, can that child come down? You know, do I have some compliance here? Do I have some, you know, or do I have extreme determination? What do I have? Okay, you can tell a lot by a child by what happens on that first bit of the night. And many of them have fallen asleep sitting up or standing up in the cot. And if you do what Tizzy Hall says and lie them down 40 times, all you've got then is a very angry child. Okay, and then you've got to get them jumping back up 40 times because the children that I see are seriously determined, and it would really piss them off. So I don't lie them down ever. The only time I put them down in the cot is when I take them out for a cuddle, then I put them down. So I never lie any children down in cots. It will bite you on the bum, I promise. All right, so I'm getting to the rest of the questions now. So I know I've got some more coming, and Candice, I know I was going to answer Candice's question. Right, let's go to my Facebook page. Now, where is the Facebook page, Karen? I know it is here somewhere. First Sign of Madness is talking to yourself. Right, can I just have a little sip of tea, please? Now, hopefully you can't see what's on my cup because my sister bought me this and it's a bit of a rude cup. I'm going to wish you luck, Peter. You can do it, okay? But they were really good questions. Let us know how you go next week. I'd love to know, okay? Yes, my sister bought me this cup. I'll just show you what's on it. Let's see. The Queen of... and there's an F word. Everything. I think she was slightly cheeky was my sister. Yes. Things that sisters buy for sisters. I think life, it's always important to have a sense of humour. Right, Candice says, Farrell says, hi Karen, my 4.5-year-old is still, 4.5-month-old is still waking every 2 hours during the night. He has a full tummy going to bed, baby rise, breastfeed and top up formula. He'll wake during the night and most times doesn't even need a feed. He's warm in the ergo pouch and radiator in the room. I think he had issues resettling. I am removing, oh, I can see the offending object, I think, Candice. I think he had issues resettling. I am removing dummy altogether from today, but he's not waking up looking for it. No, but the fact if he went to sleep with it, that is where your problem is at, Candice, okay? He's also a very, very light sleeper. Any advice would be appreciated. Right, so Candice, there's a thing called the hierarchy of soothing. Now, I don't think I can, let me just show you this thing, all right? Hierarchy of soothing. And it comes in a lovely, nice little diagram, which I'm getting. All right, I'm getting you here. All right, visit page view image. Right, let's have a look at this image. Right, can you see the hierarchy of soothing there? All right. So when you've got a dummy, you're in the red area where it says holding and feeding to sleep, and we need to be in the pink area. Patting is in the yellow and green area, okay? So it's hierarchy of soothing, really, really, really important. So a dummy is creating massive issues, all right? It is not self-settling. Self-settling is going down without any voice, touching, presence, anything, okay? So your dummy's in the red area, Candice. That is where the problem is, love. Alrighty, let's just go back to that. So I think within 12 hours, okay, of taking that dummy away, you could have a bad night on the first night, okay, but after that it'll be fine, okay. So don't give in, don't cave, Candice. When you take it away, I'll probably take it away at night time, because it'll be much easier than doing it during the day. Okay. When you put him down at night time, Candice, I want you to make sure he goes down properly awake in the cot. All right. Now the first bit of the night he's probably going to yell because he's not going to like it. Now, if you want to turn him onto his tummy to calm him down, to settle him, I'm not talking about sleeping on the tummy, I'm talking about settling, all right? But you also need to teach him how to roll over in the day. So I've got 2 videos on YouTube about how to teach your baby to roll over in the cot. So we need to teach rolling over in the cot in the day, as well as teach it on the floor, baby yoga style, as well as teaching it, like I said, I've got 2 videos on the floor as well. But you need to do it 3 times, this rolling over exercises, at least 4 to 6 times a day, all right? If you did it 4 to 6 times a day, he's persistently after me today. No caller ID again. Oh, well, there you go. I get this every day. Interesting. So I want you to wait to see what happens, but if he gets very upset, put him onto his tummy for a bit, stroke down his back, because when you put them in the cot on their tummies, they think they should be doing tummy time. They don't realise that they can actually sleep on their tummies. So we need to teach babies to roll over in cots, okay? Sleeping bags delay rolling over. So it might be worth even using a sleep suit that is not a sleeping bag to get them rolling over. But rolling over is really crucial for babies sleeping long, deep sleeps at night time, okay? Once babies can roll over in the cot, their stress levels are much less and they sleep much deeper. All right, so taking your dummy away, getting him rolling over, Candice, doing lots of tummy time rolling over in the day, really, really, really important. But if you're struggling with him when you take the dummy away, put him on his tummy in the cot, put your hand on the shoulder blades, stroke down his back, all right? If he goes to sleep on his tummy and you don't feel comfortable with leaving him there because of the SIDS stuff, wait 20 minutes of him being in sleep and then turn him over onto his back, okay? But I'd be looking at taking that dummy away, I'd be looking at getting him rolling over, and that is the way that you should be going, love, okay? But make sure he goes down properly awake at night time. And every time you put him down during the day, put him down properly awake with no dummy, all right? It'll only take 12 hours. That's how long it usually takes. But you're going to have to be quite persistent, okay? And I think he's a very light sleeper because of this dummy. I think it's all connected together. So when babies can't self-settle, they can't emotionally and physically self-regulate, and this dummy is doing that for your baby. He's not self-settling at all, Candice. So I hope that has helped you, and let us know how you get on next week. Send me a little message, I'd love to know. So good luck, waving the wand. You can do it, girl. And at 4 months, you know, it's not as bad as 6 months or 7 months or 8 months or 12 months. Much easier. Lizzie, hello Lizzie, says, hi Karen, our sleep training with Lola is very sporadic. It took 3 nights to get her to start sleeping until about 1. Then I'd feed her and she'd go till 6. We were really pleased with this. We had about a week of that, but the past 3 nights she's gone back to waking 11ish and screams more than she ever has before for an hour before I give in and feed her now. She turned 6 months yesterday. We fly to the UK for 5 weeks on Thursday. Should we abandon the sleep training until we get back or persevere even while we're away? Thank you. Great question, Lizzie. And you know what I would be doing? I'd actually be taking away all the night feeds, all right? Because I find that the babies that have just 1 night feed, they regress, okay? Most of them regress. I think you can do this. I think you can get her sleeping through. I know she's on solids. I know she's thriving. And the fact that it was after 3 nights and then you had about a week of that, okay, that tells me a lot, all right? I would take all the feeds away because she's learned to scream, all right, for more than she ever has before, because she's learned if I scream, I get what I want. So it is actually much better, Lizzie, I'd actually take all those feeds away from last feed, 7 p.m, put down awake, and then don't feed her again till 6 in the morning, okay? So I would actually continue, Lizzie, because I know Lizzie's going overseas and she's getting married. So I think your flight will be better. I think your trip to the UK will be better. If you get stuck, I would come back and help you, Lizzie, okay? So it would take 1 night to turn this around, all right, of me doing it. I'm not saying that, but just, you know, give me a call, Lizzie, if you're stuck, all right? And because I've seen you before, I'm very negotiable. All righty, so do we have any other questions, Julie, or is that it? Let me just have a little look through. There were some seriously good questions today, can I just say? A bit of all sorts there. All righty, so must have answered everything. Is that everything, Julie? Great, excellent. We're cooking with gas. We've actually finished on time. Goodness. Alrighty, so enter our competition. Tell me why you want to win this bebe, and just like and comment on the post, and we will put you in the prize draw. And like I said, these are great for kids who've got very dry skin, who've got atopic skin, who've got eczema. It's bath gel emollient, and also I'm going to get you the body lotion. I know it says nappy rash, but I'm going to get you the body lotion. Okay, and if anybody ever wants samples of any bebe stuff, I do get samples as well, but they're great for eczema. Really, really seriously great. Full of natural products, calendula, blah, 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 blah. That's all right, Lizzie. It's a pleasure. Hello, Beck. So how is Miles doing, Beck, out there? Hope things are all good, apart from I know he's sick. But you know, I'm going to wave my wand for you and sprinkle some sleep dust and send it your way. Okay. And I hope all your babies keep themselves well and don't get any of these horrible colds and flu. And I hope you all have a lovely week. And just tune in next week. Share this with your mother's group. That'd be really helpful with your rellos. And don't forget to tune in next week on a Tuesday, 2:30. And check back in at the weekend for the time codes. Oh, Beck, I know. I hope things are better very soon for you. I know. Oh, and, sorry, tomorrow. I forgot. Babyology Live. Facebook Live tomorrow. Tune in to Babyology Facebook Live. And I'm going to Canberra on the 25th, 26th. I'm also going to be live on stage there. So maybe we'll do a Facebook Live from Canberra. That would be very exciting, wouldn't it? Hopefully Karen won't make a mess of it. Fingers crossed. So lots of exciting things coming up from Karen and Nurture Parenting. Lots of live Q&As. Loving it. And thank you for joining me today. So bye, peoples. Keep well. Hope your babies are sleeping well. Bye from Karen.